kidding. You know, I do this for the first time as well, and I'm enjoying myself. And it looks like we are starting off here.
And a little hint from Uncle. So, for all you newbies, that's how it's done. Hey, that's not a bad find to start off. Blue mail. I mean, can't complain about that. That's almost as good as having 3 extra heart containers at that rate.
Oh, absolutely. Blue mail first. Now, especially during escape, depending on what item they get from Uncle, they could just manhandle some of these enemies in here and just go balls to the wall.
I love it. And I think we should get a drum roll, please. I wish I had a drum roll sound effect, but let's see what Uncle has for us. Survey says... Fire Rod.
Very nice. Now, especially in this next room, they should use the fire rod, kill these 2 guards here to find a bomb, because they can have the refill right in these pots. And we get mirror right away. So if these 2 runners know the mechanics of the dungeon, when they go, they can use the mirror to leave the basement to go right into the back.
Yeah, it's a very situational happening, but it's really exciting because that shaves off a lot of extra time. So this, it's still too early to call, but this could shape up to be a jet seat or at least a jet opening.
Oh, absolutely. Generally, you want to be under 6 minutes for escape. With the fire rod in hand, and now the mirror, we might be able to see like a 4-minute, maybe in the 4s.
Yeah, and the great thing, too, is that they do have to watch their magic, but the fire rod can actually one-shot the ball and chain guard to get the big key.
Oh, most definitely. And all the blue guards as well, so...
They're not feeling blue no more. They're nice cooked and, well, they're not red, otherwise it'd be tougher.
Now we get a bomb capacity upgrade here. The mechanics of the fire rod, they do get 8 shots per full magic bar, so they can be a little frugal, depending on who they want to use them with.
Yeah, it's something you definitely want to make sure you don't overuse, because you do need it, especially to get through some of those places that the shutter's stuck, like where Bubu is right now.
Absolutely. We could easily kill this and do a nice combo, see what we get from the blue guard here. And another key, so he's got the keys for the back.
It gives you that warm feeling inside, not like those guards. And I don't think they got the map too, but once they get that, every other item they should pick up is going, or every chest they open should actually have an item, excuse me.
Bubu doing some heads-up movement, not using the fire rod. They had to kill that green guard just to conserve some magic like that, and they get a full heart for their trouble. So a full heart and blue mail to start off this game is being a little bit healthy for them right now.
Zelda's chest has Zelda's love, and I don't think Bubu realizes that he can use the mirror to get out of there quicker, but P-Train's done that already and has shot right ahead.
You don't normally see mirror too often, so if you've not seen it or you've not known the strats of dungeons, you might not realize. But Bubu did just pick up a bomb off that guard, so that could be a little bit of advantage towards him if P-Train has to come back here.
Indeed, this could end up working itself out. It's really too early to call a lead. It's way too early to call a leader right now. But it's interesting how it's diverging already like that in the first 5 minutes.
But nonetheless, Bubu knows he's doing some nice routing here. He should be able to make that 6-minute mark, especially with the fire rod in hand. So even being back, 30 seconds or so.
Yeah, no worries there. If P-Train doesn't get any bombs here, hopefully he doesn't forget to go check the back of escape. That can be tricky to route later.
He's also got to worry. I think he only has 1 more shot left of the fire rod, and he's got to make sure he gets that key rat.
Yeah, I got to be conservative. One place that I've found that works out really... Ooh, lucky. That works really well if you're farming things is in that little hallway with all the snakes in it.
Yeah, and with the fire on hand, you can hit multiple snakes at the same time. So if you have enough magic on you, it's definitely well worth it. Well, maybe we'll see Bubu. Probably won't see Bubu do it because he does have that 1 bomb. So we'll be able to see what's in the back of Escape here.
Hopefully it isn't something vital for P-Train. That'd be tricky already.
But Escape's being a little trolly for the runners. You know, you got 2 +5 bomb upgrades, but no bombs themselves. So saying you can carry more, you just don't have them.
But you can carry a lamp, which is pretty nice to have.
Wow, we got both fire sources right off the bat in Escape. Definitely nice. Don't have to do no dark room usage here. These runners probably do know dark rooms, but we shall see. We don't have to see it. What I'm saying.
Yeah, I gotcha. And as somebody who's not very good with the dark rooms, that's always a blessing to see.
And we get blue cane and a little fungus for Bubu, so it might be a well worth trip back to the, depending on what the witch has.
Indeed, if the witch does have something that's really good and progressive, then that's gonna badger P-Train for a little bit.
And we'll see what Bubu does, but P-Train opted not to go check what Lumberjack Cave has. You know, the 2 mechanics being, since you don't have the boots or have to beat Aggie, you don't have to go, but I always think that knowledge in this game is better than not having it.
I agree. As I've always said, the famous Ben Franklin once said, "A stitch in time saves 9," and I go by that philosophy in Rando myself.
You're just a jar of information, my friend.
I'm smart in more than one place.
Well, it looks like Bubu's making the same play as P-Train, so we won't see what's on Lumberjack Lev's, but P-Train's making it to Blind's house, and we have 5 chests in here to see what's available.
Well, let's see if it's any progression now. Well, I'd say that's definite progression with that sword there. Swords.
As P-Train gives a little frustration slash of having 2 swords in the same room.
I wouldn't be frustrated. If you can dual wield, that's awesome. But since we all know dual wielding is impossible in this game.
You know, that's when they gotta add, you know, Nintendo's gotta work with Square and put Link into, like, Kingdom Hearts to have him dual wield 2 Keyblades at the same time.
Exactly, it's hip to be Square.
And just keep coming with the puns, my friend.
That's what I'm known for.
Alright, well, we found the Sanctuary Heart.
And a great big 5 rupees. 55 rupees. Ladies and gents, the Moon Pearl is here.
Alright, so with that in mind, they have the Master Sword, they have the Moon Pearl, they have the Lamp. Depending on what they're going to find in South, this might be leading towards an Aga Seed because they have everything to go to the Dark World there.
Yeah, we'll have to find out what they end up getting. There's still some places to check. I mean, Mini Moldorm Cave is always a good traditional routing move. And Ice Rod Cave may have something. And if they get flippers, there's the opportunity to swim around and find some more stuff here. So, to see what happens there. Not much in Crazy Chicken Lady's hut there, though.
Featuring game some bombs. I like this play here.
No bottle yet, so they can't check Sick Kid.
No, and that's one of those locations where you really got to remember that you did not check. I know I've lost the race early on in my career to not remembering to go check Sick Kid, so...
Yeah, it's always those weird little one-off places that can get you. You never know what rando's gonna roll at you.
Just a full heart container in the library, so as much as reading is good for you, you won't see these runners go back for it.
Not unless I need some emergency health, but that's if the boots show up too. At this early stage, I kind of like having more health because if anyone's like me, enemies love to give me hugs, so that's something I like to have.
Oh, absolutely, and I always like more help. Oh, and we got Ether here in the digging game, race game, which is nice to have. But if you can go into the dark world with at least 8 hearts, that's usually where I like to be at.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think P-Train's gonna do the traditional swamp or dam check, mini Moldorm cave, maybe Ice Rod cave. I've seen some people skip that too.
Yeah, I go back and forth on my logic for Ice Rod Cave. It really depends on what I have on me at that moment. If I leave Mini Moldon Cave and have Dark World access, I usually save it for later until I get the flute or at least the boots. But it all depends on my mood at that moment.
And good use of Mirror Glitch, being able to get the item and get out all in one go there instead of having to make 2 trips in.
And Bubu opted to check race game before actually going, while P-Chain just went and used the bomb to get it. Oh, and we're gonna have a soggy cape here at the bottom, but damn.
Well, we've got one thing toward what you wanted, but we still haven't found said Cane of Samaria yet. And Bubu picking up Andy's prize Ether Medallion, which I once found playing a seed right in the Thieves' place there.
Oh yeah, these medallions can definitely be in tricky location. But oddly enough, if it's required for Turtle Rock, I always end up finding the medallion in Bunny Cave up there a lot of times.
Interesting. And the shield. Well, there's our bottle, so we can check Sick Kid. Shield to me is interesting because it's one of those things you gotta actually upgrade it a little to be useful. So some people don't always take it, but it becomes really useful once you get it to like phase 2 and especially phase 3.
Oh, absolutely. If you can have phase 2 shield while going up against blind and not having to really worry about dodging those fireballs too much, it's definitely a well worth and well placed item.
Yeah, I just have to dodge that initial pun first.
Well, of course.
Nobody can do that. Oh, and there's a bunch of bone drops. Shame that P-Train couldn't get those in the early going, but, you know, that's what happens sometimes. Gotta roll with the punches.
Yeah, he's having a real blast of a time.
I like it. But only 50 rupees in Ice Rod Cave, so it's not leaving a heck of a lot. I think P-Train's gonna go head out over to Eastern and see what's up.
Yeah, Sasha Salami should have some couple of chests in the back, and if he wants to, can opt to see what the green pendant is, because we also have not got a map check yet of these 2 runners.
You were saying?
Alright, so we have a 5 crystal up at Hera, where there is a pendant over at Desert, and a regular crystal over at Eastern. So having 2 crystals in the light world is always nice to see.
So now that we know that the Dark World's got 2 pendants. Oh, hook shot. But as I was gonna say, what dungeons do you hope are actually pendant dungeons, preferably ones you don't have to go in?
Well, here's the thing: it's depending if you want it to be trolly, you want it to be nice to the runners. If they don't have to go into the dungeons, I would like to see it either be Swamp Palace or Ice Palace, because those are fast clears and not needed. Because if you have to go through Swamp Palace, it's a bit of a trek.
Oh yes, indeed. That's one of those ones that you really want to have for go mode, if at all. So, but with 6 items in it, you know, it may not be one you want to skip sometimes, depending on what happens.
Oh, absolutely. And the reason why I choose that is because at least if you have to go into Turtle Rock, a full clear minus a just clear when you're in go mode is not much of a difference. So if you have to go in there, dip in there anyway, it might as well be a crystal. So
Yeah, that's totally fair. We got 3 items potentially in Eastern, and one of those items is a Beaut. I love that Power Glove.
And P-Train opting not to even go into the back. Very interesting choice, because Eastern is one of the quickest dungeons. So, but he knows he has to come back here anyway to get with the bow to beat Armos Knight. So he might just be making that gamble right off the bat.
It's actually a really clever idea to do the gamble. I'm actually down with that and see where it leads. And P-Train going to the back, which he wasn't able to get to before, so we'll see what happens. Bubu following in the footsteps here, so we'll see if he continues on with that route.
But interestingly enough, Logic already has a double dip for Eastern. So if you take this bias Logic, it's already being a Choli seed to these runners.
Well, they've only seen 1 item so far out of the... There's still some chests that they could get, so I'm kind of holding off and seeing what happens right now.
And Bubu is opting to go do as much of the dungeon as possible, so we'll get to see. And especially with the hookshot in hand, he can make a quick work out of a lot of this early areas.
It's pretty awesome in the last 15-ish minutes that they've gotten like so many great items. I mean, they've gotten the glove, the hook shot, the fire rod. They've gotten lantern. They've gotten so much pretty front loaded on them. I'm pretty impressed.
Absolutely, but I do like this play from P-Train. Now he's going to make his way up to the mountain, and if he finds the Titan bits up here, can do a whole lot around this area.
Oh yeah, plenty of places to check. I mean, you get the 1 item from the old man, 2 on Spectacle Rock, 7 chests of mini Moldorm Cave. That's 10 items already, and that's not even quite the end of it.
But just the old man giving him some blue balls there.
Blueberries are tasty.
Alright, Bubu is making to the vanilla big key location, so he's going to try to get as much out of this dungeon as possible.
I think we've only seen 1 item so far. I didn't catch what was in that big chest, unfortunately.
That was just a compass. They found the map, and so now working on, obviously found the big key because they checked the chest, so this will be 1 more item at the very least, so nice play by him.
Indeed, and it is in logic since I do have lanterns, so that's that could have some progression. It could have nothing. Let's find out.
Oh, and it is the boots.
Oh boy, that's probably gonna make up some time as well. There, P-Train not having the boots. I don't know if he'll be frustrated or anything when he finds those there, but you want early boots in these races right here. That is a big time saver.
And with that knowledge in hand, I mean, he's gonna check Bonk Rocks here, and then just follow suit to P-Train. You might be able to make up some time on him here.
And be in a bottle for P-Train, so that makes 2 bottles. Only 1 more item to find in Hera, so chances are it's probably going to be a lot of dungeon items in the chests, I would imagine. But I never know. Gotta check them.
Absolutely, and hopefully they don't have to go to the basement where they'll waste some time, so we shall see where if at least Moldorm has the item for him.
And Moldorm is known to be one of the trolliest bosses known to these runners, so it could even be leaving a key upon its death, which trolls them further. Nice hookshot grab there by P-Train.
Yep, unfortunately opting not to do the bomb strat, so he didn't have to fall down, but nonetheless makes his way back up. And we should see what's further on.
And Bubu getting trolled by Rude Deadrock.
Those dead rocks can be some of the worst enemies you face in the game, and you never fight them.
I never use the word troll lightly, except when it comes to those darn things. And Moldorm.
And Bubu getting trolled by the dead rock, so opting to do right side Death Mountain first before heading up to Hera, so...
Not a bad idea. I mean, you want to go into Paradox Cave anyway, no matter what, to get those 7 items. And there's our Moldorm troll. This is why we call him Trolldorm, folks. But there's no shame in falling to Moldorm. It happens to the best of players.
Ugh, I had it done to me, I think, 3 times in one match. I was so pissed.
I don't blame you. I would be too. Oh my goodness.
But P-Train opting to do cape strats here on Trolldorm. Very nice use of the items that he has and the knowledge behind it.
Not a bad idea. Moldorm is definitely one of those fights you just want to get over with quick and by any means necessary, so I can't fault him for that. Bubu getting the flippers right in the Paradox Cave. I didn't see the first 2, but and Hammer. Wow. That is just some good Paradox Cave holdings.
And that is definitely the route to go, because now with Hammer in hand, Bubu can easily make the whole trip right over to Hera. And as chat is officially saying, Aga is officially dead.
Aga is dead, but Trolldorm, on his dying breath, gives the key to just keep trolling P-Train further, just as I suspected. No coffee break here, but I can't imagine that P-Train's going to be without the flippers and hammer for much longer, so this is, I don't think it's going to be too awful long, anyway.
No, definitely not, but this is an interesting strat. I've never seen this hookshot strat for this room, so I'm quite impressed. He could have used the cape strat by using the cape and holding onto the wall, but maybe he's not unaware of it.
I kind of like that use of a hookshot anyway. I didn't know you could pull that off like that.
Oh, same.
We learned something new today. Oh, and it wasn't even worth it down there either. Trolldorm 2. Electric Boogaloo.
P-Train's going to be a little frustrated here, knowing he doesn't have the hammer. He can't make his way across and had to turn around.
The P probably stands for that, for how he's feeling at Moldorm at the moment.
Oh, absolutely.
Hopefully the flippers and the hammer that he's about to get pretty quick here is going to make up for it. And Bubu retracing P-Train's steps, so it's not really that much of a loss after all.
Nothing. It also depends on how soon P-Train makes his way back towards Eastern to get the boots, because depending on also if they have to dip into desert, they might need it at one point, or just having it in general is going to be quick overall routing.
And yeah, looks like not much in that first part of Paradox Cave, except for the elusive and incredible green rupee. Yeah.
Chat also is pointing out that Aghanim's not officially dead because we did not see what was in Lumberjack Cave, so depending on what that item is going to be interesting routing choices.
Yeah, I've had a seed that totally looked like it wasn't going to be Aga required until Aga yanked that chain and say, "No, you come see me, boyo." That was a sad day for me.
I make great decisions. I make the best decisions. Really happy with my decisions.
And Bubu is about to jump in the fight of Trolldorm, which is really set up the troll. Oh man, that is a nasty fall right there. My goodness.
Yeah, unfortunate fall. We're doing hammer strats, which is definitely nice for Moldorm. You don't have to do 3 spins, but you could do 3 hits with the hammer. But the hammer mechanics are a little wanky depending on where you're hitting him at.
Yeah, it's another one of those things where it's, like you said, tempered sword damage, and it gets rid of Moldorm quick. I don't blame Bubu for taking this path whatsoever.
Bubu unfortunately getting a poke there, but just takes a hit to the face and then swings his sword.
That's how you should deal with Moldorm. And the chittering key of Moldorm.
Oh, we're gonna get a hype cave check from P-Train here.
Alright, chat, get hype. Let's see if Paradox Cave had more hype than Hype Cave. And I should mention, yeah, now 26 minutes in and we have Dark World access. I can dig it.
Very nice and interesting enough with the items these runners have right now. Swamp Palace is open to them, so if P-Train wants, while he's here, can go right into Swamp.
That would not be a bad idea. Definitely worth making the map check. And Hype Cave is Gripe Cave. And yeah, hey, Swamp Palace is a required dungeon there. Turtle Rock and Ice Palace are both pendant dungeons, and Thieves Town actually has our other red crystal.
All right, early 5-6 crystals is interesting to think about because if Fat Fairy does have an item, both the dungeons are completable.
And not to be outdone by Swamp Palace, I believe we can actually full clear Skull Woods as well pretty soon here.
Oh yeah, that's definitely full clearable. I mean, you would kind of really want to go into Mahio with at least the Tempered Sword, but it is doable with the Master Sword.
Yeah, in theory, it definitely is one of those you're going to want half magic with. And just a left ventricle there in K45.
Oh, we're getting Spike Cave check from Bubu here.
Now that's a gutsy call, even with the Cane of Burna. Because that's pretty cool. This could work out in his favor. I calls him like I sees him, folks. He gets his mitts on the mitts.
That is quite a play. Now, that location is one of the things that a lot of runners put off just the last minute they can do, especially with the low heart counts that these runners have. So that play by Bubu is quite incredible, honestly.
I agree with that one, yeah, because Spike Cave is also one of those easy ones to forget about, like Graveyard Ledge. Though P-Train gets his flute, so that's going to help him out quite a bit.
But with the flute in hand, he has to go back because he does not have the Titan's Mints that Bubu has. I stand corrected, I forgot about the Mirror Way.
If our resident Fun Smithy does have something to give us a little reward that's progressive, then that's going to make a big difference as well.
But with the Kakariko play by Bubu, I'm sure we're going to see him make his way south, and we'll get his flute shortly after as well.
And there's Sick Kid's lunch money. Congratulations, he can't buy his medicine. Look what you've done. And Bubu making the play into Thieves Town. You know, and I'm actually liking both of these runners' routing. I mean, they're definitely going with what they got, but it's some pretty solid ideas here. Bubu getting the first, the big key right in the first chest here. Potential of 3 items up front.
Absolutely, but with that, P-Train did get the goose loose there, so get your salutes in chat, and we had our national anthem for the day.
Fly the Swag Duck Airlines, folks.
Nice heads-up play by P-Train with that flute, easily going to the witch and handing in that mushroom.
That's probably one of the best ways to go about it, to be honest, and being able to check check the waterfall, and there's Tempered Sword and what Zora has.
Let's go!
Quite awesome routing there, and that's going to definitely help when P-Train makes his way towards Mothula and Swamp and Skull Woods too. So.
Yeah, this is some great. They're both converging very heavily, but they're also getting some really sweet items in the process. I like this.
But with having a lot at the disposal that P-Train has, he can go into Swamp, he can, do other checks, Thieves Town, Skull Woods. It's going to make the play that he might be putting off this check up to the cave, Spike Cave, very late.
That's true. I don't... Oh, and thank you realize it doesn't have Titan Smith, which is kind of a bummer. But, you won't have to worry about Ice Palace so much unless Ice Palace has something progressive in it. Then again, you really don't want to be searching Ice Palace, so I don't expect either runner to want to jump into that right away.
And unfortunately, Bubu had a horrible time with that Hellway there, just getting hammered by everything in there, had to use his blue goo, and then finally makes his way up.
Yeah, they call it the Hellway for the reason, and I've experienced that. And I don't think 300 rupees is a good enough reward for that, but when Bubu decides wants to go check Zora, can find out what Zora has.
Brewery here just has a big 20 in it.
Yeah, P-Train should be following suit fairly soon, I would think, into Thieves Town here. And the right ventricle.
As Bubu's making his way towards the basement here, gonna figure out, what's available to him and go into that big chest, depending on what he has. I wasn't counting items, so...
I haven't had a good count yet, but I know we've had at least one, but we'll be able to retrace our steps as P-Train goes through here.
And I like the knowledge here that Bubu has. In this room is a lot of hearts, so even if you're low on hearts, you don't waste any fairies or waste any potions because you can refill in this room down here, so very nice knowledge there.
Exactly. It always pays off to know where your items are under jars and such. It can really make the difference between dying in a spot or not running low on magic in a spot. It really pays off.
And Bubu is about to make his way towards the blind fight. Now, blind is an interesting fight because if you know the mechanics of the fight, it's very easy to stay on what's so-called the script. Blind is the only boss in the game that has 9 HP, and every item you use takes 1 HP away from him.
And the quarters for dollars pun, everybody. Blind is near and dear to my heart. Yeah, and the good thing with Blind, too, I can imagine both of these runners are going to have an easy time despite having only 8 hearts to go in the fight. Is like, as Bubu was showing us, there's Cane of Burna, there's Cape, plenty of stuff to use, so can't have too many Bubus.
And Blind dropping 300, so a hoarding of rupees in the seed in Thieves Town. Well,
it's quite fitting. They are thieves after all, but Having that crystal is the best loot of all, and I believe that 34 minutes... No, I lied. That's not our first crystal. That's our second crystal. Excuse me.
But the second crystal being it is both 5-6 crystals at 34 minutes in.
Which is really fantastic. It leads me to believe that Fat Fairy has some progression here.
And that's just another spot for P-Train to check before making his way up to Spike Cave.
And who knows, could have something really important.
What's nice to know, though, is that T-Rock being a pendant, they don't need to find the Ice Rod, although having the Ice Rod in hand is just good knowledge to have, because it is the one of the most elusive items in the game. But that being said, not needed whatsoever.
And it just dawned on me, too, that P-Train is going to want to find those mitts sooner or later, because those are absolutely required to get into Misery Mire.
Oh, absolutely.
I guess who's about to go into Misery Mire whenever they darn well please.
And it's also to note that P-Train also didn't go through Eastern, also doesn't have the boots, so these overworld checks and some of these dungeons with the boots in hand makes quick work. So those are two spots that unfortunately he did not go get, and might be a hindrance to him in the long run.
And we're going to see our Smithy check, so if Smithy happens to have the cane, or one of our other checks in that matter, we will, like I said, we'll be able to see a full clear of Misery Mire, which is going to be, I think that's going to be one of the pivotal points here. You're going to get all the items from Misery Mire because of so much of that.
Absolutely, and the routing here by Bubu is quite effective. Got the Smith mirrored, went to Sick Kid, gonna activate his flute here and then go return him. Very excellent routing on his part.
And P-Train in his blind fight now, already in the second phase of it.
Doing a little bit better way of staying on script, but again, they had both the safeties in hand, so nothing really to worry about, but really good fight by P-Train.
Yeah, that was nice and clean. That's one of those skills things that I really love seeing in these matches here. So that's a fun watch.
And oddly enough, we must be at the Olympics because we had the second national anthem played to here. So both runners going away with the gold.
And speaking of gold, it would be nice. It would be nice if P-Train found a butter sword too.
Oh, absolutely.
And P-Train going, I'm guessing going into Skull Woods now, actually.
I don't blame him. It is a crystal. It's completable. It's right here at his disposal. Why not go in and finish something else?
And there's 2 items, and yeah, it is relatively quick to finish off. So, hey, grab a third crystal. Why not?
Plus, he can go check Bumper Cave, and same thing with Graveyard Ledge, and can rope in all the way over to Catfish and Zora if he so chooses.
And Bubu just getting a bit of the Smithy's affection as a prize.
He's leaving Gary's lunchbox behind.
Kind of an interesting choice. We'll have to see where that leads to.
Maybe he figured that he could quickly do these checks here with the boots and then make his way back to get Gary and just flute his way down to 7.
That wouldn't be a bad idea, because you can't really run with the lunchbox in tow. And a vanilla piece of heart here in Cave 45, as we've seen.
Opting to go to Hive Cave, so be interesting when he's gonna rope that check back in.
P-Train going right for the back. I didn't see if he got any items yet, but not a bad idea since I've seen a lot of matches where the items are hidden behind right in the back of Skullwood, so it's not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea at all, and I like the. A lot of times, I think players, including myself, will go right to the back, not even checking the first chest, just in case the items are back there. And since you're gonna have to go kill Mothula anyway, you might as well make your way back and not have to check the front part. But depending on the items you have and the comfortability of the runners, still not a bad play nonetheless to check the rest of the dungeon as well.
Yeah, though P-Train, that's always kind of frustrating to find if you don't really find much of anything in that, especially if you don't have the cane to make it easier, because it's just all that effort just seemed like it just wasted.
But P-Train, having the knowledge, since he already has the 2 keys, does not go to get the other key in the skull in that room. Nice knowledge of the dungeon by him.
Yes, indeed, I like that. It's definitely not out of the way, but the less you have to go out of your way, even to slight it, I mean, that just gives you a little extra edge in the long run. Peter taking a second to get a little bit more magic there.
Definitely nice, but Bubu's making the swamp play. I like this. 6 items in this dungeon. It's the most densest dungeon in the game, and definitely could be worth it in the long run to do a full clear, but maybe not. But doing the gamble nonetheless. It's the last week of the Swiss tournament. Why not?
Heck, you know, if you're still looking for items, there's worse things you could do than full clear swamp. I mean, like you said, 6 items. And there's just so much potential in it, and it's still early enough that it's not. You can still make up for it, even if it does happen to be a bad choice. So it is some good routing by Bubu. I like this.
And P-Train had quite an amazing Mothula fight. Very clean, very nice.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was balled under that cap. Call him Mr. Clean. His boss fights have been immaculate so far.
Oh, I was about to say, we might have a Fat Fairy check, but he went right, so we're gonna go see... Swamp? No, he's gonna go do, he's gonna go check...
Oh, look at that! Look at that. That is incredible find right there.
That probably is the best thing that P-Train could have found, because that's gonna push him back towards Eastern. Gonna be able to get at the boots at the very least, so it'll make his, catch up a little bit quicker.
If I was P-Train right then, I would be like squealing with glee right there, because the bow is one of the. It's not quite like the ice rod, but it can be in so many different locations that it might as well be anywhere.
So that being said, I know we're only about 45 minutes in. They found a lot of progression items. What could be left on the pedestal?
Well, there's still the possibility of the Cane of Samaria. Chat, help us out. We know you're out for Ped Blood.
It can't be Cane of Samaria because Turtle Rock is a pendant. They need Cane to get through Turtle Rock.
That is right, my derp.
So I'm thinking it can only be if Myers a different medallion.
And even then, there's the possibility of what I call key under the doormat. I've seen it a couple of times be right in the Meyer shed.
Absolutely, but P-Train making quick work and going to pick up that bow right now.
I bow to the island of Bow. No, really, I would be at that point. But no, having the bow is great because now You can go into Pod and just take care of that completely. Warp back to Eastern, take care of that completely. You've got 2 dungeons down right there. That's fantastic.
And that's exactly what P-Train is doing. I like this play. Pod has 5 items. He knows Eastern has at least 1 more item in it, so it's going to be a 6-item check right there just for that play.
And just a red meringue found so far. Didn't catch that other item, unfortunately, in Swamp. We're on the left side, but I don't know. Even though it is out of the way, I don't feel like left side is like a super time-consuming thing. Maybe it's just me.
It's roughly about a minute and a half to go left and then head in the back. So not the hugest time loss, but if you can avoid that extra minute and a half, it's definitely one you want to avoid.
Indeed. And it looks like no big key yet, so we're not checking that big key. But yeah, definitely, as you said, any little time saving you want to do, that's something you want to do, especially in races that have gotten as close as seconds. That leads me with a curiosity too. What's Pod gonna have?
Pod always seems to auspiciously have some sort of progression hidden in it somewhere, but I always find it to be when Pod is a pendant, not when it's a crystal. So it's gonna be interesting to see what is gonna be available to me.
Speaking of medallions, there's Bombos.
All right, so that leaves just 1/3 of a possibility that there's a ped steed going on here. So very limited here.
Pet ain't dead, but it's on a respirator.
And I think that means, if I'm counting correctly, Boo is gonna find the big key on Argus. So will he make the trek just to get that big key chest?
Or either that, it could be in the big chest itself. So we'd have to see what Argus has.
Very true.
And go ahead.
I was going to say, but unfortunately, Argus' fight with Master Sword can be a little arduous at times, so depending on your strats. But oddly enough, if you hold your sword out and do a spin speed, you can let go of the hook shot before you spin and let go of B. It'll automatically do a spin at the end. So having that little bit of knowledge could save a little time. Otherwise, you just do a quick two cycle on it, and it's nice.
Well, I learned something else new today. Thank you.
Absolutely. And if you're a little bit cheeky with it, you could do 2 in 1 pull with 1 swing. I haven't gotten that down pat myself, but nonetheless, it's a strat you can look at.
Thankfully, no matter what, Argus is one of those nice breather bosses. It's not too hard no matter what. Even if you let him go in the diagonals, it's just a matter of just being careful. Staying away from the diagonals. And big key on Argus, so if you're gonna check that, putting the Arg in Argus there.
P-Train, unfortunately, with Pod also comes with a little bit of information of key logic. He didn't check the rest of the dungeon, obviously, but going into that harmless hellway, spending a key to get a key, sometimes that little bit of knowledge could help get through the dungeon a little bit quicker.
Yeah, it's earned the nickname by a few commentators of Mullet Dungeon for good reason. Business in the front, party in the back. And the map not really part of a party.
Bubu getting a little bit confused there. I'm trying to figure out what he's trying. Maybe he realized he didn't check the big chest?
Could be. P-Train actually picking up the book. So we could be seeing Desert a required little jump in.
Oh, we might be getting a blind island check here from Bubu. Be very happy with it.
Oh my, yes, that is so gonna work out in his favor. Hi, Bo. How are you today? I think that Bubu finding the bow there, it was so thoroughly shocking. He had to hit the dancing pickle and show us how shocking it was.
Very well said, my friend. Very well said. But P-Train, now going through the dungeon, is going to make his way back into Helmasaur and finish off Pod and then go to Eastern himself.
And Fire Shield on Hobo. Interestingly enough, we haven't seen what's in the waterfall, nor have we seen anything with Zora, so I'm kind of curious to see what's there myself.
And Bubu, with that bow in hands, following suit for P-Train, gonna do that Pod and Eastern finish, so we'll see the same thing from these runners. That being said, at about 51 minutes in, these runners are doing an excellent job entertaining us today. If you like what you see, please give them a follow. That's the best way to validate their time and energy for you guys.
And plus, the other thing is, too, you're going to see everything they do, so if you see them do some awesome rando practice and play new strats, or even check out some new games, I mean, definitely check out what they're doing. These are two interesting players right here.
So we gotta hope, if you want Ped to be still alive, that Misery Meyer is Quake.
Yeah, it's definitely looking less and less likely. I can't see either of our players going for it, like, anywhere. It's been pretty nice to them thus far.
But that being said, interesting to note, less than an hour in, we are one item away from go mode. Potentially.
Yeah, we just got like one or two here. Silver arrows would be a nice find too, so they don't have to do serverless Ganon. But it would make for some good entertainment, so it's kind of a hit or miss feel for me on that one.
Chat being a little cheeky and saying silver's on pedestal.
Cheeky like a chipmunk.
And once again, excellent Helmasaur fight from P-Train. P-Train's had some excellent boss fights. Well, something he's probably practiced.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's like, shit, I know this. Like, it's like going into a test and just acing it.
Absolutely. It looks like Bubu chose to finish off Argus here first, and P-Train, knowing that he has to go towards the back, finally will get his boots and probably be very happy at that find.
Yeah, he's going to have to spend a little more time in Eastern, but it's going to be worth it in the long run. No pun intended on that one, come to think of it.
Even when you don't intend to, you get the puns going.
It's a blessing and a curse.
And we're going to see NMG strats hopefully from Bubu, but unfortunately got hit. Tried it, but nonetheless, it's going to be a quick fight for these runners here.
Yeah, not a bad recovery, though, here.
Yeah, very well played. Unfortunately, just Eastern hiding a big 20 ruby for them. But, make his way. Now he's going to make Pod. And Pod didn't have much of anything neither, so these two checks, unfortunately, are just crystals for these two runners.
But crystals is the best progression item you can get. And, yeah, we still have just a couple more crystals left on the table. This is proved to be pretty fast so far. They still gotta figure out where Cane of Sumeria is. That's gonna run them ragged.
Interesting enough, though, with Bubu doing Eastern first and now going into Pod, he could leave Pod and do the Pyramid Catfish up to Zora check as well.
Yeah, still plenty of items, so that's if that's the case, that's I mean, Bubu's routing has been on point. Chat bringing up a good point too. Do you go into Mire without the Cane of Samaria? I would not do it unless it was my last option, because the thing about Randomizer is I think that the thing that's going to troll you the most is if the item is where it's supposed to be.
P-Train finally getting his boots is going to make quick work of the rest of the dungeon, as they say.
Gotta go fast. But of course, it's a race. You want to go fast. And P-Train showing why doing this room in the dark can be a frustrating experience. Those rock clops are not friendly if you don't have a lamp, so it's nice to know where they are. Thankfully, though, if you do have the fire rod as a light source in that room, you can light one of the torches to help you out in there.
Absolutely, but there is a strat with that. If you have the arrows, you go into the room, go a little bit to the right, and you shoot it into those Igors. Hopefully that's enough to guide you for the rest of the room.
Yes, Igor, like you don't want rock clops. Where do I get that name from?
Well, they're kind of like a rocky cyclops. I could see it.
And an unnecessary full magic for right before the Armos Knights fight, and P-Train getting it here, and just being able to make short work of it. You can tell P-Train has practiced on the bosses immensely.
Literally amazing boss work from him, I have to say. So the combination of these runners, the routing between Bubu and then the boss work for Train, would make a perfect runner of this game.
P-Train is running over the bosses like he's a freight train. So yeah, namesake baby, I love it.
Alright, it's going to be interesting to see where P-Train goes from here. He is going to check Zora. Alright, we're going to get a Zora check from P-Train.
We're just as likely to see life lessons as we are the thing we need for progression at this point, so this is actually kind of rare. I haven't seen Zora checks an hour in for an hour in for either player yet, so interesting.
And wishing just gives you a little bit of love and some rupees, so nothing in the waterfall there. We'll see how Zora works himself out.
So P-Train's got a nice little college fund going, and Bubu gets to add more to his. And just a piece of heart as this vanilla on the Zora ledge. And here we go. Is it life lessons or is it useful?
Very expensive bomb purchase.
Wah, wah, wah.
Well, we might be checking a Fat Fairy check here from P-Train.
Hey, it's a good idea at this point. You got the crystals too. Why not?
Bubu getting his literacy and is gonna make way to Helmasaur.
Though I think we're seeing here too. While P-Train does have a lot of progression items and a lot of crystals, still needs to get the Titan's Mid out of Spike Cave.
Yeah, that's really where this race is going to be decided. As soon as P-Train finally makes his way up to Spike Cave, is when we're going to see these runners converge on each other.
And it looks like P-Train's going to do Swamp first.
Again, good decision. 6 items over 2 from Fat Fairy. Actually 3 potentially because you have what's on Pyramid not been checked yet. So nice routing on his part.
I don't think there's a whole heck of a lot on Pyramid. I think it was the red boomerang if I could, because I know I caught it checked earlier. I feel like I did anyway. Maybe that's just my imagination.
I mean, I could have sworn no one made it, but I could be wrong. Who knows?
We'll find out when we get there. Ah, that's right. And chat pointing out I am wrong. Thank you. I know when I am wrong. Sometimes.
It takes a man to admit when he's wrong, as the saying goes.
I'm like a place with earthquakes. I have my faults. And Bubu making quick work of that dastardly turtle room there.
To note, Bubu still hasn't found their tempered sword, so still rocking the Master Sword as is. I forget where that sword upgrade was.
I believe that was Mushroom upgrade, if I remember correctly.
You are correct. So if Bubu does choose to leave here, make his way up his way towards Zora and all that, it's perfect place to put in where the mushroom check.
Oh, absolutely. We'll be happy about that. The thing I'm happiest right now, I'm glad my memory's working for one. But now we have another crystal and 50 rupees for your trouble.
You know, interesting also, an hour in, we have not had a pendant dungeon dip. And that's very odd to see as well.
Yeah, it's still very much a possibility with that Cane of Samaria being anywhere. Kind of.
Oh, and absolutely. And Desert is fully clearable with all the items available and was clearable early as well.
Yeah, it could be one of those two dungeon items in Desert, so that's very much on the table, as well as Ice. Not Turtle Rock, though, because you needed to get in there, but if it's going to be a pendant dungeon, it's going to be one of those two.
And we are getting the Eastern check here from Bubu, so it's going to do Pyramid. We'll see what's on Pyramid here.
Yeah, come to think of it, too, I don't think P-Train's checked Catfish.
Never mind, opting not to check Pyramid, but we could be thinking that since he's going to do Fat Fairy, he'll probably do that in the same sweep.
Yeah, that's where Red Boomerang was. Derp.
So Bubu probably gonna get his sword here and maybe opt to get a few potions as well.
Yeah, definitely good to have some safeties here. Oh, yes. As we can see, we release the bees. And those bees are kind of starting to bug him, so he leaves the potion hut.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Bubu save and quit and then go right to Fat Fairy to get those 3.
Would be a pretty solid idea there. And catfish time. Drum roll, please. Ladies and gentlemen, is the all-important, most incredible 20 rupees.
So this northeastern location check in both areas is nothing but horrible. Except the sword upgrade from the witch.
And rich people bombs. Can't forget rich people bombs. I know those rich people bombs end up giving me an explosive temper. And P-Train at Argus gonna have an easier time with the tempered sword, but I can't imagine anything less than a clean fight here. And I wouldn't be surprised if, in his mind, Boo Boo was leaving a tip of one of those bombs with a letter carved in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
3 guesses on which letter, and the first 2 don't count.
Oh, opting the flute, so we're gonna go get the Meyer location check probably from Boo Boo. And he makes me stand corrected. Gonna do Skull Woods instead.
Mel can jump into Meyer at any point. P-Train still has a little bit of looking around to do, but now that he has the Swamp Palace pendant, can go. He's gonna have to go look for those mitts in order to get into there. So, and also not only that, to check the area around it too. So Checkerboard Cave and Meyer Shed. So there's a lot of potential that some area could be key under the doormat.
Absolutely, but oddly enough, P-Train is going to check the big key, the big chest in Swamp. So if this holds Samaria, that could be the one thing that holds him on to this race. And I stand corrected, it's the compass, so I miscounted.
The compass of disappointment.
Alright, we're gonna get a Bombos check here from P-Train, and maybe he'll make his way towards Agina and Desert.
Wouldn't be a bad idea, though. I'm kind of surprised. I don't think he got... Oh, yeah, he doesn't have Smithy. Never mind, that was Boo Boo. Excuse me. And the Bombos tablet, love that you checked it, but it's not the kind of thing that P-Train wants right now.
And just 10 arrows on Desert Ledge. Opting not to go into Desert right away. Gonna check Agina first.
Yeah, there's a few different ways you can route Agina's Cave into this whole thing, so, yeah, as long as you get it while you're in Desert, and it's no big deal. And just a bomb upgrade, unfortunately. P-Train opting not to check Desert.
Interesting choice. Does have 2 items. It's easily accessible. You did not need the mitts to go check. So, P-Train opting, I guess, going to check Fat Fairy here first.
That might not be... That's not a bad idea there. And yeah, this could be some hype, but like I've been getting hype for everything, but I still haven't had my feelings of hype leave me yet. So this is working itself out to be a really good close match here, I think.
I mean, we could get that Samaria hype on Lumberjack since none of these players have checked it yet.
That's a good point. I kind of wish Phantom Ryu was here to help us drum up some of that hype, but hey, we gotta do it. We'll do it in his absence. Now, the thing that amuses me about the Super Bomb is that just 50 rupees on the pyramid, but that's not what amuses me about it. The fact that it doesn't do any damage to you, but regular bombs do.
Yeah, very well. And unfortunately, Fat Fairy not having anything.
And Boo turned into a mushroom. Now, wouldn't that be hilarious if you could just turn into the mushroom and then go trick yourself, and then just, like, turn yourself in to trick the potion person?
Absolutely. Or use yourself as a fake powder glitch.
Not possible, but we can all dream. And Boo doing some good dodging on that Mothula fight. That can get dicey in a hurry.
Absolutely, and both runners having great Mothula fights, I have to say.
I think P-Train's having his moment that he forgets he has the he does not have the mitts. So here's hoping that he finds them fairly quickly.
I mean, it's very rare that you go over an hour into a seed and not have Titan's mitts, so it could be very easily unforgotten about.
Yeah, the more P-Train does this, the more behind he could feel he gets. So where's he gonna go next?
He's probably gonna do the northern checks here. Gonna check Bumper Cave. Gonna check Graveyard Ledge, and King's Tomb.
Definitely not some bad ideas either. Because Graveyard Ledge is another one of those, especially that it's easy to forget about it, but it could hold something vital.
Oddly enough, we did not get the ped check from Boo, but we are about to get the Lumberjack check here.
Oh, if it's Cane of Samaria, I'm gonna laugh. And Boo left stumped there for a moment. And it's
red.
But it's not the cane we are looking for. It's just 20 rupees. Sorry, Aga, you did. And speaking of rupees, Bumper Cave only has 5 of them.
So oddly enough, minus a little bit of routing here, what I said beginning in the hash that showed us that the Cane of Samaria was before the cape, maybe you need the cape to find it, and maybe it's in Mire itself in the spike room.
That could very well be. And, yeah, it could very well be because P-Train finds B with a bottle in it. Sorry, happenstance pun. Oh, here we go. Here's our Graveyard Ledge check. And P-Train about to do the same, so not that far behind.
Just a 5-hour upgrade.
Oh my goodness, where is that big red cane?
Oh, shovel! Another fetch quest here. Another thing to put P-Train off the tracks, as they say.
Yeah, that's nothing that he's gonna be happy about. Nice one there, for the pun there. Though it wouldn't be all that bad because he could go to the Grove and check that, and then maybe head off to Desert after, so the routing could work itself out in that way.
Being commentating with you, I have to up my pun game, so anywhere I can get it, definitely you could dig it if you want.
I love you in a non-creepy way. And it's another red. It's another 20. Another one of 27 possible ones.
So, where is Boo going now? Maybe he's doing the Bombos check and then maybe can make his way to desert?
Could very well. It seems like, and I don't blame them on this either, for trying to hold off on Meyer until they do have the cane. So it's a very possible option that neither one of the runners want to do that. Looks like P-Train's going to desert finally, though.
I would think Boo would probably check here, flute down to the area, go check what Meyer is, check Meyer's shed, go check Checkerboard Cave, and then make his way to desert.
Yeah, I know Boo-Boo's going to be able to do that, but P-Train isn't, which really could be the deciding factor.
Oh, we haven't had Gary's lunchbox yet, neither.
That too. I wonder if our runners have thought about that at all yet.
Unfortunately, P-Train without the mitts in hand has not even had that in his mind, but Boo has not checked yet.
Boo-Boo's about to make some Meyer checks, though. We'll actually get to see what the Meyer is, and then we'll know what's going on for Go Mode totally.
And it's Bombo, so Meyer medallion not needed, so the Cane of Samaria is our Go Mode item.
It could very well be here, too. But it isn't, but a Riot Shield is a nice consolation prize.
But the Cane of Samaria was in desert, and P-Train just picked it up.
Oh ho ho ho! I hear a Phantom Ryu going nuts right about now. So now P-Train's just gotta make his way to Spike Cave, and he is in full-on Go Mode.
And you know, with the cane in hand, since he's not going to be able to finish Meyer, it could push him towards Turtle Rock area and that Spike Check area, knowing that he has to check Spike Cave and could go into Turtle Rock.
Oh my, yes, and... oh yeah, Boo-Boo's realizing probably nothing in there, unfortunately, but it can't hurt. There we go, Agnes Cave. That's what's going on.
So the question that we have to ask ourselves is if Boo checks Desert first or goes into Meyer first and hopes that it's in vanilla location.
It looks like P-Train is making a run, so I think we're going to have our Spike Cave, and I think P-Train's going to be right on in Go Mode. I have a feel... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, the only thing that's going to save P-Train at this point is if Boo decides to do Meyer first instead of Desert. So we have to see what's going to happen right here. With that menu opting to go Desert first, so hopefully it's all going to be execution at this point.
I think that's going to be the case. Good call on P-Train checking the Ether tablet, but unfortunately we know it doesn't have what he needs. So I think that they're gonna be in Go Mode at about roughly the same time-ish.
Yeah, and an hour and 19.5-minute Go Mode. Very nice, very quick.
Yeah, it's going to boil down to execution. I am extremely excited about this.
Because unfortunately, Boo checks a lot more overworld location than P-Train. He's not going to have to do that. So, very quick, probably pissed, found his mitts, going to make his way down the Misery Mire and finish it off. We might see entrance at the same time.
And yeah, I think they were about like 15 seconds from Go Mode from each other, so incredible. This is going to be a race right here. They're in Go Mode, and I'm even more hype about this now.
Wow, this really converged on each other. Bubu's gonna make his way into Meyer at about 120.15, I'm gonna say, or 120.20. And P-Train gonna check here first. I don't blame him, but very within 30 seconds of each other.
Yeah, I don't blame him for checking. Riot Shield's gonna help, especially with the Red Mimic room in Ganon's tower there, because spitting is a dirty habit. I say it once, I say it all the time.
Maybe P-Train feels that he hopes that silvers are in these locations. He's doing these checks. We shall see. And Bubu having a horrible time in this early room. Gonna have to use a potion.
Yeah, probably doesn't want to do a silverless Ganon. Don't blame him, but it's going to make for an exciting race if that's what has to be the case. So they could find it going along Misery Mire, maybe Ganon's Tower still, so it's not out of the running, but kind of less likely.
So with this, we're going to be a minute behind going into Mire. But chat has been saying P-Train has had the better bosses. So those bosses and his practice could very well be the definition to this match here.
Yeah, I think so too, because he's been having some fantastic fights here, as you said and as we've seen. I'm curious to see what their strats are going to be with Vitreous here if they don't have the silver arrows.
Oh, and we have a God Mire setup. Bubu's opting not to go right to Vitreous.
Gives P-Train a little bit of time to catch up here.
Realize he has everything he needs and heads his way back.
Sometimes the nerves can get to you. I don't know if it's nerves for sure, but I know at this point it would be if it were me. Now, the great thing is if you were to find the big key where P-Train is and you have the skill to hover, that's a great place to shave off some time right there.
Yeah, but successful hover is like the top 2% of these the runners in this tournament. I haven't even attempted and don't think I'll ever try.
I'm willing to give anything a shot, so, you know. It's one of those, if you want to and dare to learn it, well, there you go.
Oh man, these runners are so close.
So yeah, we won't be seeing the strat that I call the clear eyes with silver arrows, but there's tons of other great strats you can use on Vitreous, and it looks like we're going to see Burna dash strats here.
Oddly enough, with Burna and its magic consumption, if you slash with it, it is a little bit longer of a use of Burna rather than dashing. But opting to do another potion there with down to 1 heart, we might see Bubu fly and get some more potions before heading up, but nonetheless, we'll check here.
That was a kind of a mean zap by Vitreous at the end, but, you know, Vitreous is a boss. What do you expect, huh?
Gets a key, 8 arrows down, and we are officially at 7 crystals. So do you know what that means?
You bet your sweet behind I do. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, there are 22 different locations that the big key in Ganon's Tower could be in. Get your guesses in now. If you have donated 250 bits, or you subscribed officially to the Speed Gaming, any of the Speed Gaming channels 1 through 6, you could get some leaderboard points if you are the lucky winner. All those who are not, or are runners-up or close, well, everyone will be getting a coupon for a free small ice cream from Cold Stare Creamery.
Very good. Where do you like to predict that this big key is going to be?
I like to do the double firebar room, which in traditional routing is number 8.
I like to go with how the seed treated these runners, and you know they're going on the way to the Ganon's Tower at 1 hour and 24 minutes, so it's pretty fast. So I like to see execution battle here. So I would like to see it maybe at chest number 20.
I like it.
And Bubu did opt to go get some potions, and looks like P-Train is opting to do the same.
Yeah, Bubu already did that ahead of time, so, but gotta go, take the long way into Ganon's Tower here from, Turtle Rock. We'll get to find out what the medallion for that is, just for posterity's sake, so that'll be kind of fun.
And we're seeing 2 different routes up by both these runners. And it's Quake, so they couldn't even have access to Turtle Rock. Interesting enough.
Boy, you'd really have to be looking to be able to get into Turtle Rock there.
They would be, what, all shook up if they had to go search for it?
Yep.
And we will get our official time difference here. Bubu's in Ganon's Tower at 1 hour, 26 minutes, and 46 seconds. And we'll see the difference with P-Train here shortly.
All right, and now it's time to see who was correct as well. So, number 1 and number 2 not holding it yet in the Hope Room. So, we have our traditional routing now.
Oh, P-Train opting to go do Hookshot Room, maybe hoping to find silvers.
Well, you know, as I always say, it ain't over until the Fat Fairy sings. Because I've seen close races, and I've seen a couple of come from behind victories as well. So that's it's never over. You still have Moldorm 2, you have Ganon, you have Aga, Silver Arrows. So that was worth it.
Silver Arrows in Hookshot Cave. Okay, so with P-Train's excellent boss mechanics, and Bubu did find the big keys and making his way up, a silverless fight opposed to non-silverless fight might be the difference in this match.
Holy crap, this is great. But officially, the big key being on number 5. So, number 5 guessers, congratulations, you are the winner.
I need to make sure to ask P-Train about his play with that hookshot cave, because that's gonna be that could really be the deciding factor. And Bubu is gonna have to watch out. He's only down to 5 arrows, and he's going to need a decent amount once he goes to Ganon. Oh, never mind. He doesn't have silver, so it doesn't matter. He's just gonna need a decent amount of arrows going up the gauntlet at the very least.
Yeah, P-Train's gonna have some potentially quicker red mimic fight. So this is exciting. It's I still feel like it's still too close to call right now, even though Bubu's got the physical lead, but P-Train's got the arrows that can potentially make up for it in a flash, just like that.
I mean, we couldn't have asked for a better finish to this game, this match here. This is really going to come down to finishing, and both runners, we can't nod the fact that we're not even an hour and a half into the seed, and they're both in the gauntlet. So it's been one hell of a seed.
Oh my god, I could not have said that better myself. I mean, this is the kind of Week 7 Swiss match that you hope to see, and boy, are they delivering right now. This is fantastic.
And as we said, this is a 2-4 match. This is not even to be in the bracket stage. They are officially out. And getting this caliber of run from both these players is quite amazing.
And it's good because it's for the love of the game. I mean, because there's no prize at the end of the tournament. It's all for the fun of the game. And P-Train and Bubu are just showing that right here. It is fantastic. Just great competition by great players.
Alright, Bubu finished Landmolars 2 at about 1:30:30, so we're gonna see when P-Train finishes his Landmolars fight and see the difference.
Oh boy, those BMOS and that ice is not being very nice to P-Train there. So that can be though that second room using the Canisum area, that can be a little bit trickier as well. I did see it was out of magic there, so I didn't know if it was out of magic or not. But even if you do, that's a tricky room. A lot of runners make that look really easy when it's not. That's something you gotta practice.
P-Train having a little bit difficulty doing these silver strats on on Landmolars, but nonetheless gonna probably finish in this phase, and I stand corrected.
And Bubu accidentally falling right at the end there, so having to do the whole thing again. That's gonna make up for some time there for P-Train. Not so much of a magic loss, because that one is right there, but now we can see some anger pulls there from P-Train.
Yep, had about a 1.5 minute difference right now.
And we are soon coming upon the first of a few potential hurdles. Moldorm 2, who I have dubbed Moldezuma. You want to watch out for Moldezuma's revenge here. It is swift, and it can be brutal in a close race like this.
But Bubu's not checking those last few chests. Makes me think that he's probably comfortable with Silverless Ganon.
Can't say I blame... Whoa! That was a little close for comfort there. Oh, gee. Moldezuma is out for blood.
And gets it at the final hit.
Oh, I would have been on the edge of my seat if I wasn't sitting on the floor. And P-Train about to go in there pretty quick here. No powder, so can't do the health restore, unfortunately. But Bubu into Aga first, and we'll have to see how the Trig Agonometry works out.
And P-Train having a quick Moldorm 2 fight. Literally is going to be about 45 seconds, I think, away from Bubu.
Yeah, it's kind of not lining up as well as he's hoping. I couldn't tell if it's a single or double.
Oh, and with one heart left, Bubu makes and kills Aga 2. Is about to go get to the pig, while P-Train starts his Aga 2 fight.
Yeah, this is some hair-raising boss fight right here. It's the kind of thing you want to see as a player, but not the kind of thing you want to have as a runner. My goodness. And I don't think all those hits registered, unfortunately. Just one of them might have.
And Bubu doing the knowledge is going to get that fairy. That could be the thing that P-Train needs here. So definitely, Bubu doing?
Potions, probably.
Oh no!
You know, honestly, Boo doesn't have the silver arrows, but P-Train does. I don't blame him for wanting to have some backups in this, even as close as it is, you know?
Oh, this is gonna be so close. P-Train goes in first at 135.30.
And already getting the first hit in there.
Ooh, knows the double spin strat with the cane there. Very well knowledge of the fight. Unfortunately, doesn't get the clear one cycle, but gets the God corner if he gets in the corner.
I think kind of playing it a little more of a safe here. He wants to do this all in one go, and I think he's pretty comfortable. Though the thing is, both players are going to want to be careful because they only have 10 hearts right now. And P-Train using that cape is a great safety there. But it's, he's got some potions, but you don't want to go crazy with the magic.
And both fill their hearts at the same time. P-Train's in phase 3 while Bubu's trying to finish phase 2.
I did like that. I did like that use of cape and then getting hit and then using the potion, so exhausting all possible supplies. This is, oh boy, this is a fantastic fight here.
Hey, P-Train gets the last hit, going on to phase 4. Gonna hit Ganon here, get one hit with the silvers, and gonna activate the fire glitch. Oh my god.
Yeah, getting the second hit in here. And Bubu, wait, did we have it? No, we still have one more hit. Gotta be careful here. I mean, a fall will bring Bubu right back into this.
And there it is. P-Train takes down Ganon and is about to make his victory cycle, while Bubu is doing silverless strats. But get your GGs in chat. P-Train is done, and it's going to have an official RTV time of 1 hour, 37 minutes, and 44 seconds.
What a beautiful match here. I mean, it's still not over because Bubu is showing some... the Firebirds are being tricky, but he's showing some good serverless smacks here. I cannot wait to have both of these runners in for an interview. I hope they come in and chat with us because there's just a lot of general talk to talk about this seed so far.
Oh, absolutely. Wow. And I want to, we'll wait until Bubu finishes here because he's almost done. I haven't been counting, but got to be only a couple more swipes.
I'm just praying he don't get knocked in at the last minute, because that is just... I don't care if you've won or lost already. That is just not something you want. The hair is standing on the back of my neck. I am at the edge of my seat with the serverless. This, like... There we go.
And there it is. Wow. What a finish. Bubu is about to finish, and he's going to have an official time once he crosses the little stairway here, bridge.
But yeah, it's looking like now that basically sneaking into Hookshot Cave to grab those silver arrows, that was the big one right there. GG, both of yous. Holy cow. Could not ask for a better run to commentate for, Ezreal.
Absolutely not. And finishes with a official Speed Racing TV time of 1 hour, 39 minutes, and 14 seconds. Just a minute and a half difference of these runs. Give you GGs, and we'll see if we can pull both of them in for an interview.
I think I'm going to steal some GGs to give from like people who aren't here and just give it to them, because that was one of the most exciting matches I have come for. Great. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Absolutely. And looks like both are in the waiting room. I'm going to pull them in and let's get this interview going.
Oh my goodness, I am stoked.
And we have our runners here. GG. What a race, gentlemen.
Capital letters GG, guys. Seriously.
GG.
So tell me, how do you feel about that seed?
I would be interested to know when Bubu got boots because I noped out of Eastern as soon as I got those gloves, and I don't know. I felt good about the play when I made it because I'm like, there are two scenarios in which this doesn't work for me. Number one, Bo is here, or number two, Boots are here, and then Boots ended up being there, so I felt behind from the moment I hit Eastern.
I would admit, he found. I think he actually found Boots way early, but I apologize. I'm probably stealing your thunder.
Yeah, Bubu did stay in Eastern, completed, get his boots, and also, when he was on Mountain first, stayed and got Spike Cave and had the mitts really early.
Yeah, that was super unfortunate because literally my thought, the way I routed Death Mountain, I went up to Hera, and then came down Spiral Cave and did, I think, Paradox Cave after that. And my thought was, I'm going to get Spike Cave when I come back with the mitts, because it's going to take me, basically, the time it would take me to walk from Paradox Cave to Spike Cave. If there's progression in Spike Cave that I need, it's going to take me the same amount of time to do that later than it's going to take me to do now. So I'll just put it off. So unfortunate that mitts were, of all things, were in there, because that was the item that was going to trigger me going back to Spike Cave.
Absolutely, and we have to ask, dipping in to Hookshot Cave was the play. What made you go in there? I mean, obviously you were looking for silvers, but nonetheless, what was your mindset there?
Honestly, it was boots. The fact that I got boots so late, I started gambling. I didn't really want to do Pyramid Fairy, Pyramid Check, and Catfish, but I felt like if items were in dungeons, then I had already lost. So I did a bunch of overworld checks. The moment I got mitts, I was like, oh great, because this has been available to us for a while. So yeah, I mean, I checked the outside of the Mire area looking for silvers, and then that was kind of my Hail Mary. I'm like, if I get silvers here, I have a chance.
And boy, did you.
That literally was what saved the race, because Bubu was finished Aga 2 before you did and opted to flute to get more safeties because he had to do Silverless Ganon. So it literally was the difference.
Honestly, if I didn't have the silvers, I probably would have done the same myself. Just because, yeah, it was. I got, I think, 3 blue potions, and I burned 2 of them just in the gauntlet alone. So, yeah, my execution in that gauntlet wasn't the greatest. And then also, I had to burn one prematurely on the Ganon fight. What I wanted to do was cape strats. And then finish up with my blue potion, but I wanted to get Ganon to phase 2 first, and I took a pretty nasty hit against Ganon, or against his trident, so I had to burn my safety prematurely. So unfortunately I didn't get to do that the way I wanted to, but luckily it worked out.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty clever use of it, because you used the cape to kind of burn the magic, and then you had the lack of health, so you just restored it all in one go there. I thought that was really, really clever.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely, and we have to say, your boss battles throughout the game were quite impressive. Were you doing some extra practice on them before this race?
A little bit. I may have ran blind a couple times, to be honest. But yeah, boss battles, I've been dying to a lot of bosses, particularly Montula and Cold Stare. Scare the mess out of me, just because if you die to those bosses, depending on how you fight it, you may be out of magic and might not be able to get back to the boss. So definitely have been grinding some bosses out. I don't know. I thought this seed was pretty nice though. I felt really good about with the exception of skipping boots, I felt really good about my routing. I got flute on the way into Kakariko. I randomly decided to check mushroom right after getting the the flute, which gave me tempered. So my boss fights are relatively comfortable. With the exception of, I guess, Vitreous. I would have liked to have silvers for Vitreous, but I mean, with the cane, that wasn't that bad of a deal, or that big of a deal, rather.
Oh, absolutely. And oddly enough, Bubu did not turn in his mushroom early, so he was rocking Master Sword for most of the run. So just the difference of execution and the differences between you was definitely fun to watch. And wow, a 140 collection rate. That's one of the lowest I've seen and commentated with. Well done there.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Just the way the dungeons laid out, progression was fairly linear. I mean, Hera led you to East Death Mountain. East Death Mountain led you to I guess I went to Pod, the Pod and Eastern play. But yeah, probably the only thing I regret maybe is full clearing Swamp. I can't remember if I actually got anything out of that. And then because I was so shook, I was missing boots. I miscounted items, and went back to grab my compass from the big chest.
Interesting enough. But it was still an excellent run. I mean, is this a PB time for you, or?
I actually think it might be. I'm not quite sure. Definitely, it's a tournament PB for sure. I'm almost positive.
I'm going to give you that. Congratulations on at least tournament PB. Definitely let us know if it is actually a PB, because I'm actually curious to find out, if nothing else.
Appreciate it. But yeah, all in all, I really, really enjoyed running the seat. I can't believe I got sub 145 getting boots as late as I did. So that's really, really happy with the seat. Really happy with this run. And GG to Bubu as well. Really enjoyed the race. Looking forward to watching the VOD.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely. One to watch. Sorry, Rick, go ahead.
No, I was going to agree with him. I hope this is one of those that actually gets posted on YouTube as well, on the Speed Gaming channel, because this is a run worth watching, I'm telling you.
I mean, we couldn't have been more better one to finish off this first Swiss end of the tournament. So, that being said, finishing at 3 and 4, how are you feeling about this Swiss end of this?
Seems like it left him speechless. I know it has me.
Sorry, my mic is definitely on mute.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah, my goal was to have 2 wins. That was my goal. And I ended up making it to 2 and 2, which was way better than I thought I would do, because I saw the list of people who were 1 and 3, and there were some very, very some runners that I look up to, runners that I watch and, take notes on how they play the game. So I was surprised to make 2 and 2. So to be 3 and 4, I'm absolutely ecstatic. Fortunately, absolutely no chance of me making brackets. But I'm still, for someone who almost didn't even join the tournament, because I was worried about how I might perform, this is certainly a pleasant surprise. I've done much better than I could have hoped for.
Honestly, P-Train, I can relate to those feelings so well, because I actually didn't do it just for that reason. I just did the commentary, but no, I'm like really proud that you did it, and you should definitely feel proud. I mean, you've done fantastic, man. That's impressive. I mean, I'm honored to have called this match, if nothing else, and you should be honored for just doing it as good as you've done.
Absolutely, and I have to say my goal was for 3 wins myself. I'm currently 2 and 4, and I started 0 and 3 with this, so I'm very happy to be where I'm at. And of course, like you said, you've seen who's in here, and I used to watch Zelness, and I was up against Zelness, and just having that opportunity to go against something that you watch and enjoy is definitely one to do. So, GG to you, fantastic ending at 3 and 4. What a way, especially if you want to do 2 wins and you made it to 3. Congratulations on exceeding your expectations and goals.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
But yeah, you've got. I think you've got plenty to say that you can take away from this. I mean, you've got a tournament PB, you've got the 3-4 wins. You may even have a personal PB right here, like right in front of a live audience, man. That I mean, couldn't ask for much more than that. I don't think, you know.
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys commentating. And once again, just GG to Bubu. Really had a good time with this race, with this seed. Looking forward to watching the VOD.
Absolutely, and Bubu looks like had a collection rate of 134, so that's one of the lowest I've seen. Way to go, both of you! Amazing job, and that with your Swiss tournament ending, what do you look forward to watching in the brackets and going forward?
Honestly, I think it's hard to pin like a specific thing that I'm looking for. I mean, the Swiss tournament's just the way, especially now that we're in the late stage, so everybody, we're pretty much calibrated in terms of who's racing who. Honestly, I mean, the Swiss matches have been excellent. So to know that, you know, we're going to have this caliber of race going forward in the brackets, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to catching as many races as I can.
Well, unfortunately, Bubu can't join us for an interview, but he's saying that he's looking forward to Andy's matches. Always like to see forward to Andy's matches. But that being said, would you like to comment anything else going forward, or about the seed, or the tournament in general?
Yeah, boots are stupid. And GG to Bubu. And thank you all for commentating. Thank you, Speed Gaming, for the restream, or the host, however you want to look at it. I really enjoyed it, and I really appreciate you guys.
Thank you very much. Rick, you have anything else like to add here?
Pretty much, I'll let you do the parting honors, but the one big thanks that I definitely want to say, because I definitely want to thank you for joining me, Azrael. It has been so much fun, and as well, Speed Gaming and Carissa, our tracker, our players. But thank you, chat. Like, seriously, we would be nothing without you, and I always like to make it a good point to point that out. So definitely thank you, chat. Especially thank you, Azrael, for being my co-commentator. It has been a blast.
Oh, absolutely, Rick. I have to say, one of the best commentators I had all tourney. It's been the best. I'd like to thank you. And as he pointed out, I'll just make the official, please give these runners a follow. What an amazing job these two have done. Both sub 140 seeds, both with low collection rate, both going back and forth in leads, both doing excellent job running this game. Then they only do that and get validated with their follow. So please give these runners a follow. They absolutely deserve it. If you liked our commentating and you'd like to hear us more or watch us, whatever we like to run, you can give us a follow. I'm Azrael Speed. This is Rick right next to me here with amazing commentators and the puns. Follow him just for the puns. But yes, Carissa did an amazing job tracking for us. We could not do it without Carissa, so give them a follow. And if you want more action for this tournament and games in general, Speed Gaming 1 through 6, ALTTP Randomizer 1 through 4. They do the restreams, and we wouldn't be here commentating without them, so give them a follow. Other than that, Rick, anything else?
Hey, I think we've covered all the bases. Definitely lots of love to give out there anyway. So with that, keep watching all this week. If you love the caliber of these players right here, you are going to see even more fantastic caliber matches. Keep your eyes peeled to the Speed Gaming channels 1 through 6 and ALTTP Randomizer 1 through 4. You will not regret it.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for joining us. It's been one hell of a time with you here. Otherwise, we have our next race tomorrow scheduled, at the least right now, at 2 p.m. tomorrow on Speed Gaming 2 between Thalane and Salty Fry. So if you want to watch more, at least by 2 p.m. tomorrow should be the next one. I thank you all for joining me, and especially Rick, thank you for such an amazing time tonight.
Oh, it's been a blast, man. Thank you very much. Y'all have a fantastic rest of your evening, and we will see you again for more fun rando. Have a great night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you.